Hello and welcome to the channel with me, Dragonborn McQueen. I wanted to talk about the new patch 13 update because I felt a few of the outlets had let the side down and hadn't fully looked into some things and left a few bits of information out. So I am simply going to start with the Hazmat Suits, which on this character, which is my main character, whenever new DLC comes out, I stream with the character and I look into all aspects of the new patches or the new DLC and just check it out with him. Now I did purchase the Hazmat plans, but we'll just have a quick look here. There is, now you can see I've purchased the small backpack, but we'll get to that in a minute. But look, headwear, the Hazmat suit doesn't show up in any of the lists. It's not even in heavy armor, helmets, light armor, garb mysteries is there. You would think it would appear in light armor, but the Hazmat suit doesn't seem to appear anywhere, so they've implemented it, and it's not a cheap plan. It's about 1,200 caps, I think, without hard bargain. I got it for 1,000, no, sorry, 900 or 920 or 940 or something. Can't remember exactly how many caps I paid for it, but I thought then it might be this one. I had like an idea, but it is on chemistry workbench or ammo workbench, but no, it's definitely not here either, or Tinkers or anything else. So it's annoying that they've implemented this ability, because I had the idea of perhaps one of my characters being able to go down to the vault and give new players a fresh Hazmat suit, because you'd be able to craft it with much more increased durability. But yeah, it's not here, and Bethesda have dropped the bar on that one, dropped the ball on that one. So yeah, great stuff. Next we come on to the very controversial fridges, which already Reddit has been ablaze with people complaining about this item, as it is seen as a pay to win. It keeps your, as fridges would, keeps your food fresher for longer, 50% more, but good with salt. It also keeps food fresh, but that, as it takes up 3 perk card slots to achieve this, or 2 to get better than a fridge, it's kind of a, you know, a bit of a slap in the face. It would cost you $7 or 700 atom, yes, which I think equates to about $7 in America, and it's about £5 to £6 in UK money. But of course you can't buy that in one bundle. You would have to go to the 1,000 atoms, so that's $10 price in America, and I think UK price is around £8. Sorry, is the 1,000 point bundle. Also, they've done the resource collecting thing, which collects resources. It is easier to take over a workshop, but because this can be placed at your camp, and you know, unless you get engaged in PvP, it's going to stay there and just keep collecting resources. You do have to come back and empty the stash, which is here at the back, but it's not too much of an issue if you're a character like mine, where you're on a lead deposit, and then you have someone have a vendor bot going out and collecting. I think it's 500 atom cost in the store. If you have them going out collecting junk for you, then you'll be able to produce ammo without having, while you're out at events and play, without even having to grind for resources and collect resources. It just negates that whole point of the game, and it is pay to win, no matter how you look at it, which is annoying, because we were told it would only be cosmetics. This should really be part of a quest line, and then perhaps cosmetical changes to the booths and that sold in the Atom store. That would be fine. I think the issue is the fact that we're having to pay out for this alone is the annoying thing. So here we are at the train station. If you remember, there was a cardboard cutout of an Atom store guy with his fingers just pointing at you, and it could link directly to the Atom store. Now it has been removed, and yeah, the world feels a bit more immersive and a bit more real. There is also the addition of the pint-sized slasher. I'll put a little picture on the screen now, and then we'll talk about the Atom store stuff as well that's been added. But the pint-sized slasher was created for Creation Club on the for the Fallout 4 engine, so they're reselling the assets. Technically it is free with the bundle when you buy the, but you still have to purchase the atoms. So yeah, they are kind of putting an extra incentive in there for you to buy the £8 bundle, which is just enough to buy yourself a fridge. And it's very, very, very cunningly marketed, and it's a bit wily on their behalves. And I, for one, am not too pleased about it. There's also the addition of wallpaper. I'm not overly impressed with the idea of wallpaper. This is Fallout after all. Things are meant to look run down and beat up. We're not playing Happy Families or Sylvanian Families. If I wanted The Sims, I'd have gone out and brought The Sims. This is Fallout, and I want my wasteland to be a rough cut one. And whilst I welcome some of the additions of things, and looking around my home I have lavish things, it's meant to be the juxtaposition of the lavishly decorated items against the rough, harsh structures, and that is something I think I enjoy about Fallout. Some people may like the particular wallpaper look. For me, it's not for me. I would like to see more distressed and destroyed kind of found walls and things like that. That would be a good use of our free atom that we earn through playing the game. Moving on to the next point, there have been stability fixes for the game, and whilst it feels a little bit more stable in adventure mode, I did have a disconnect in Nuclear Winter, which brought my stream to an end. And yeah, things like that, crafting, and when you're doing things on crafting stations, still has that lock up and freeze on the PlayStation that we are getting all too familiar with. Not something we should be complacent about though, and it is definitely something that should be addressed in future content. The next point is Nuclear Winter has moved to Morgantown, a welcome addition, a new map keeping the game mode nice and fresh and alive for us and giving us something new. It's an urban environment with a mix of partly in the Toxic Valley, so it gives us plenty of variation on different heights and different areas to fight in. But I did find myself when I was playing last night coming a lot more, turning corners and coming face to face with entire teams was a lot more common. There isn't much else to say about Nuclear Winter. They have added a Gauss rifle and an Assaultron head. I'm yet to try those weapons out, but no doubt if you keep watching the channel we will be at some point looking at those, and it will be interesting to see my thoughts, and might do a little report on those if people want to hear exactly what I think of those weapons and how I feel they fit into things, or whether I feel that they're probably going to get nerfed. Apparently the Gauss rifle is pretty powerful, and people feel that it's probably going to be something that's going to be addressed like the Tesla was, which was good before Bethesda ruined it and made it a ridiculous weapon that just tickles its opponents. Anyway, moving on to the next point. The next thing to discuss is the addition of small backpacks, which I briefly touched on earlier in the video. We have been given smaller backpacks to create that are available from the overseas cache in Morgantown Airport. So once you complete the Morgantown Airport quest, you'll get the chance to make a smaller backpack. Now it has standardly a carry weight of 5 at level 1. Level 10 it has an additional carry weight of 10, and incrementally increases with every 10 levels until you get to level 50 with a carry weight of 30. It's going to be a welcome addition, I think, for early players, and it will help them progress through the game. It can also have mods added to it, like the possum one, so if you know someone who has the mods, they may be able to put the refrigerator, which you can acquire just by doing the possum challenges, in your backpack, which will keep your food fresher for longer, which is the mod I'm certainly going to be crafting for. Also, talking of that, we're going to move on to the event overhaul, but just a side note before I go into that, the opossum badges, it is able to earn opossum badges from Campfire Tales again, which is absolutely fantastic. I will definitely be doing that event a lot more on the channel to try and get the backpack mod for old Jack McQueen. And that nicely brings us on to the next point, which is the map and event overhaul. Now, when you look at camps, you'll see They've got vending machines set up with the nice little V on them. It's a bit clearer. It's also had a few other changes to the map. Events, we get icon like this, surface to air. See, nobody is doing that. So if we click on it, you can join event. Oh, hang on, it's still charging. It's supposed to be free travel to events, so that seems strange to me, because I thought that was one of the things they were doing. Let's have a look at this, powering up. So it's going to be free travel to, I guess it's free travel to public events then that come up. So events like surface to air, which aren't a public event, you have a certain time to join them before they go disappear off the map. This is so you don't join them with 2 minutes to spare. So it's free to travel to the public events only, it would seem, but yeah, we're still going to have to be charged for travelling. The way the notes read, it was going to be free travel to all events, which would have been a really, really welcome addition to the game. So let's move on to the next point on the list. The next point is I have some nice rewards here, some nice legendary weapons and things that I've acquired on my travels, legendary armor, and that I've traded for. Now legendaries at events, public events, will be, you won't have to get a hit on legendaries. You will also be given, I think it may be at all events, but I definitely know it's at public events, you won't have to kill the legendary. So when you're fighting Scorched Beast Queen, if there's a legendary mega sloth there, you won't have to get a hit on it. You will still be able to collect legendary, which is a welcome addition, because everyone at those events are doing various different tasks. Some might be concentrating on trying to bring the queen down, while other people are concentrating on keeping the smaller mobs from attacking. So this definite change is going to be welcome by a lot of players, but it is also open to abuse with plenty more event campers, which, you know, I kind of wish Bethesda would do something where they don't get anything, or they're not considered part of the event if they don't actually deal any damage in the event. I mean, even if it's just over a period of time, it should be 1 damage. They should be at least scoring 1 damage throughout the event time, you know, consistently. For every 30 seconds they should be at least getting one hit, and that way they're going to be joining in. I don't know how easy it would be to implement something like that, and I don't know whether Bethesda have even got the imagination to think of something like that, but we shall see in the future. Hopefully we'll see how the events pan out and how it goes, and I'll obviously be covering it on the channel while live streaming and expressing my thoughts as and when I encounter them. I mean encounter the issues, not my thoughts, because yeah, I come up against those quite regularly. The next thing to talk about is the sinking of crops. If you notice, these crops are sunk into the ground, but when you come to your camp and load in like I did last night, it was like, oh, my crops are still floating, and I was a bit annoyed. You do have to replace them. I will quickly just show you if we can open the build menu. I think I'm right on the edge of my build menu here. Let's store those and go to food in the menu. Now crops sink down a bit more into the ground so they look more planted, and if you excuse the pun, but yeah, they look a lot more like they're actually growing from the ground rather than just hovering above it. Let's bring the light on and I will show you again for this razor grain here. I think this razor grain was really awkward to place, if I recall correctly from the live stream. Oh no, not too bad. Yeah, there we go. So now a much better look, and I'm probably going to have to go around and change all my crops, especially the razor grain, but it will allow us to sort of sculpt and create things around our camps that will look a lot more believable, and it'll be quite nice to be able to put razor grain like reeds around lake beds. I'm looking forward to that sort of addition. The next item is when you are when you are modifying weapons, you will get a simple mods unlock list at the top there. So now, looking at Gatling gun, I have 4 more mods to learn for that blooded revolutionary sword. that's electrified. I have another mod to learn for that. The Unstoppable Monster, I don't know any mods for that, but there's only one. And the 10mm, still have a fair few to learn there. So we're getting a list of on each weapon of things, you know, of mods that you need to learn. It also applies to your armor, which is definitely a welcome addition. It kind of helps if you want to keep tabs and collect every single edition, or if you're after a particular mod and you want to know how many you've got. So yeah, scout armor, I thought they were going to list how scout armor mods, they haven't implemented the change for scout armor by the looks of it, because it hasn't got the mods unlocked list there. And the mods being implemented for scout armor, they said were going to be listed better, so now it will say forest scout scout armor, right legs or whatever limbs. It's going to be far better implemented, so we can know what mods are for what, and match them up to the right armor and purchase the correct ones that we require. So definitely a welcome addition, but it would be nice if they implemented the actual mods list there. But perhaps there aren't plans, so perhaps that's why it doesn't apply yet. You can only buy the mods from vendors. And finally, but certainly not last but least, it is an addition that I am personally quite pleased for, and it is that they have added at last legendary Sheep's Watch staff and clubs and legendary fixers to the list. I may have mentioned it earlier, but personally I'm quite pleased for it, and I'm looking forward to getting myself on a legendary burning Sheep's Watch club and running around hitting scorch beasts and such with the weapon. If you enjoyed this particular video update, patch review, whatever you want to call it, then don't forget to share, leave a like. Also, I will be doing more of these in future if this proves popular enough, but I felt the other outlets didn't quite cover everything, so I had to make this video to report on certain issues that have been omitted by bigger YouTubers. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Dear Bethesda, this is the hardest thing I've had to write in a long time. We've had a good innings, but I kind of feel we're not getting along anymore, and I don't think it's you necessarily. It might be, I think it's more me, although I kind of think those new friends you've been making, Zenimax, I have my trepidations and my reservations about Zenimax. You know, I can't tell you who you're going to be friends with, but you know, I think Zenimax is a bad influence on you. Just my personal opinion. I do like, we've had some good times, we've had some amazing times. I mean, there were the Skyrim years, they were brilliant, and the Fallout 3 years and Fallout 4 years, all very enjoyable. But Oblivion, it's all been good fun. But lately things have just been going from bad to worse, it would seem. There's always an issue, and there's always something bad and negative every time. There's never something going smoothly or right. It doesn't seem that you don't seem as committed as you used to be. You don't seem to be involved. Like the spark's just not there anymore, and I kind of feel perhaps it's best if we went our separate ways. Yeah, like that's going to happen. Like I'm never going to stop playing Fallout 76. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I decided to do something a little different on the end there for people that stuck it out to the end. A nice little surprise. And yeah, I hope to see you all in the next video. I will be streaming daily like I normally do, pretty much. Occasionally I might take a night off. Please don't get offended if I do. It is quite tiring trying to do all this. But I try and bring the best content I can, so if you enjoyed this video, like, sub and share. It is greatly appreciated. Let's see if we can get to 500 subs by the end of the year. I would be really pleased if that happened. Thank you for watching, I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.